We spent 5 weeks in Taiwan, exploring, learning, making mistakes, and eating everything. We bicycled through rice paddies, saw cherry blossoms, snorkeled with giant sea turtles, learned to ride an electric moped, rented whatever this is called, and this thing too. We explored Taiwan's connection to Japan, the historic area of ANPING, and discovered Taiwan's love of both railways and art. We are going to dig into all of this and even give itinerary advice at the end of the video. What are we waiting for? This is your ultimate Taiwan travel guide. Look, I'm questioning some things. We are in Taiwan, finally. After years of wanting to come here and years of planning, we are here and we could not be more excited. We are starting our trip in Taipei and we are visiting some of Taipei's most famous sites today and trying some of their most famous food, some of which I'm even excited about. I'm a little bit nervous about something else. This is my best chance at liking this. It turns out that stinky tofu has a taste that lingers, but we're still gonna do it. We're starting our day today here at Taipei 101. This is one of the world's tallest buildings, and in fact, for a short period of time, was the world's tallest building. I cannot wait to see the view from up there to find out just how big Taipei is. We made it, 91st floor. You can walk outside in a little area. There's some bars, but you can still see really far. And we are really high up. I mean, really high up. There's no other building that we can see that even comes close to as high up as we are right now. This is amazing. We just finished visiting Taipei 101. The view from up there was fantastic, but what I wasn't expecting was all the Instagram spots. I don't know why I'm still surprised by that when that happens, because we saw them all over Japan, but it still was unexpected. That was really a great view up there, and the elevator is impressive. It takes 37 seconds to go all the way up to the top, and I guess technically to go back down. I think that was worth it. A little bit on the pricey side, but it was something that we had our heart set on doing. Now we're starving, so it's off for some food that we've been looking forward to for a really long time. Well, as you may have guessed, one of our food destinations today is the famous soup dumpling place, Din Tai Fung. There's nobody here to tell me how to say it. Din Tai Fung is known for the exactness in which they create their soup dumplings. Inside of the dumplings is the filling, but also this delicious broth that comes out. And we've seen it on television so many times that I have wanted to try this for a really long time, and I am super excited to be here. The wait though is an hour. It better be worth it. I'm sure it will be. It's super popular. Even though the wait to get into the restaurant was long, our food arrived very quickly. There was an instruction card for us to follow on how to carefully pick up the xiaoliuqiu, poke a hole in it to let the steam out, and then it was time to eat these incredible broth and meat-filled dumplings.
Well, that was fantastic and well worth the wait. The food was excellent. The staff was very attentive and helpful, explaining everything as we went.
It did take several hours, so now we're behind on all the things that we need to do, but it was absolutely delicious. That is an experience we've wanted to have ever since we saw other people do the same thing on television. It was amazing. Now we are headed to one of the other iconic sites in Taipei, which is just a brief walk away. So if you are familiar with Taipei at all, you know where we're headed next.
We are here at the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial, and one of the things I didn't fully appreciate is how large this square is. It is enormous. Seeing it in 2 dimensions on YouTube and television doesn't do it justice.
I don't think we've mentioned it, but we've also been fighting the rain all day today. We are not going to stop and count them all, but there are 89 steps that lead to the top of the memorial, one for each year of his life. Cool to see. It's much bigger than we expected, and this square actually is the scene of many protests and demonstrations and even some religious gatherings, which is going on way in the background right now. We are much further down from the memorial hall, and we are spin.
All right, spin.
There's that building, and now we're in front of the gate, which is really cool. So now we are facing the memorial hall. This is really beautiful. I love how so many people are gathered here. Like, we just ran into some local girls who shared their pet with us, which was really weird.
Some kind of flying squirrel type thing. If you know what this is, comment down below.
They tried, but they didn't speak a lot of English, and we of course don't speak any Chinese or anything. So, so one of these buildings is an exhibition hall, and the other one is for concerts. I'm pretty sure this one is the exhibitions, and this one is the concert hall. Did it just lightning? I'm pretty sure it just lightninged. This does not bode well. We're not done yet. We have a lot to do still. As you can tell, it is absolutely rainy out, so we had to make a judgment call. Do we go to the temple, or do we go to a night market? I think you can tell what won, the night market. We have one final thing that we need to do before our first day in Taipei is complete, and that's trying stinky tofu. Yes, it's happening. We have somewhere picked out, and I think we're almost there. It's pouring out, pouring. All right, we're gonna try our first stinky tofu. I've done my research, and my research says that you should try deep fried tofu the first time that you're trying stinky tofu.
You just said it again.
Yeah. See, he knows too. I like tofu, I like fried things, so let's find out how deep fried fermented tofu goes. With the lady standing right behind me. I read that her stall is really good too, so this is my best chance at liking this. Stinky deep fried tofu, here goes. I'm not gonna smell it too. You're supposed to breathe through your mouth when you eat it. Oh, it's kind of pickled. I like it. It kind of tastes like kimchi.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You know you want Bill to try this too, right?
Originally, she was threatening to have me just eat this because Bill will eat anything, right?
I always said that I wanted to try it.
Here goes nothing.
Enjoy.
It's okay. What's the big deal?
Now, that's what I said too. So if you're not familiar with stinky tofu. It's a fermented tofu. But this one gets deep fried afterwards, which kind of mellows out the flavor, which makes it a fantastic choice for first-time stinky tofu people like us.
And there's cabbage and some kind of pickled flavor in there. It's actually okay. Yeah, it's really good.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Taipei also has an affordable zoo practically in its center, a zoo so enormous that it has all of my top 4 favorite animals. Don't miss our tips for visiting it.
Oh, it's nice.
Welcome to another beautiful, if a little bit cool day here in Taiwan.
We are at the Taipei Zoo today.
Not just for kids anymore.
We couldn't miss this site because we've heard that it's amazing.
The animals are waiting. Let's get going.
We've never seen koalas before. It is probably the thing I am most looking forward to seeing here. Are you excited to see a koala, Bill?
I'm ready. We've never been to Australia before.
Is there anywhere else that has a koala? Maybe we'll find out.
They're from Tainan.
That was horrible. I think the koala looked right at me. It was like love at first sight between me and the koala bear.
They're very cute.
It looks so furry. It looks so soft. Oh, I wish I could touch it.
They're adorable.
We saw one in person.
First time.
Even the insects are cute. Can't believe that we got to see our first koala here in Taiwan. I did not expect to see one until we eventually made it to Australia. Now we are headed to the giant pandas, which we have seen before. We've seen them at 3 zoos. I think we've seen 4 of them total, so we're adding to that. Soon we're not gonna be able to count them. While both the pandas were sleeping, I would guess that they are most active first thing in the morning, which now it's sort of midday, and late in the day. This is interactive art, and the thing I just turned is a rain stick, the thing that makes those really cool sounds when you turn it up and down. The tall pieces kind of look like trees, which is really cool. The colors of this are beautiful. I love this art display. This is easily the closest we've ever been to elephants. At one point, one of them was about 15 feet in front of me. I felt like I could reach out and touch its leathery looking skin. But of course I couldn't, nor did I try. In the little pavilion that they have, you can get so close. It's amazing. We're now entering the tropical rainforest area. I would say that my 2 favorite animals are koalas and elephants, with giraffes coming in like 3rd. And I think I might be seeing all 3 of my favorite animals today. What's your favorite?
What was the African wild ass? That's my favorite. Walking through and some monkeys just start kind of jumping out in front of us. Just never know when monkeys could just attack.
Where?
About 6 feet in front of me.
I don't see anything. Oh! Oh! They were we're really monkeying around.
Terrible, terrible.
Oh my gosh. Sloths might be my fourth favorite animal. They're so cute. There's a sloth minder. I think her job is to make sure the sloth is safe, which is really cool. I think she's yelling at us to move, but thankfully we don't speak Chinese. We sort of stood there and watched the sloth for a little bit. It moved a lot faster than I expected. Like, I thought sloths hardly moved. This one moved quite fast. We've been through a half a section and I think the zoo closes in 3 hours. I just want to stand here and watch the sloth. It's so cute. Well, the pangolin dome was amazing. I don't think we saw a pangolin in there, but everything else we saw was amazing, especially the sloth and the little monkeys that were running around. Oh, that was amazing. That was really cool. I enjoyed that a lot.
Those interactive areas are just fantastic.
Our favorite parts of zoos by far.
No question.
We are leaving the tropical rainforest. We saw some otters on the way out. I could watch them play for a really long time. They are so fun and cute. But now we're gonna head to a different section. Do you know where we're going?
I'm going wherever you're going.
I'm going where he's going. I guess we'll all find out where that is together.
All right, we got a plan. We consulted a map, and we are going to the Australian and the desert areas.
Hey Bill, did you find your ass?
We finally found the animal I was looking for, which is the African wild ass. Oh, there it is. It turns out it's just the wild version of a donkey, and they got stripes on their legs. I've never seen one before.
This one right back there. It turns out that Bill's wild ass is actually quite rare. There's only a couple hundred of these that are living in the wild right now in the entire world. So they are considered critically endangered, this particular subspecies. There are donkeys everywhere, but this particular one is actually quite rare. Didn't know that, did you?
Look at you dropping the knowledge.
I had to look up Bill's wild ass to find out more about it. Just in case it doesn't translate well, ass means butt in English. Just in case.
In American English.
In American English, ass is butt. It's also a little bit of a swear word, a tiny one. So it's kind of fun to say on camera when you're not swearing.
What was the African wild ass?
Hey Bill, did you find your ass?
The African wild ass.
Bill's wild ass? I had to look up Bill's wild ass to find out more about it.
That's my favorite.
But using it in a genuine sense.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
We have entered the Australian area. We thought that the first animal that we saw was a turkey, but it was a cassowary. They look a lot alike.
Yeah, the giraffes were fantastic. We've seen giraffes before, but just either by luck or by planning, we're not sure. There was a tree right in front of the viewing area and the giraffe came up and it needed a snack.
It's amazing. Also, its tongue is like 2 feet long to reach the tree branches. That was amazing. That was really, really cool. Are we still in Australia or have we moved on? I think we might be in a different section now. All right, check the map. The African animal area is indeed where we are now with the giraffes.
As we're walking around, it really strikes me how well everything is maintained. The grounds are just beautiful. All the gardening is really well done.
And the cages are clean and the animals look well cared for. Sometimes zoos can be hit or miss.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Is a really easy one to recommend. It's a great zoo.
Yeah.
Plus, it was only like $2 American to get in, which is absolutely incredible. We are having to be selective about the areas that we go to because we are running out of time. One of the reasons we came to the African animal area is because there's more elephants. And as I already mentioned, elephants are one of my favorite animals. So now I have seen Asian elephants and African elephants all in one day at the same zoo. It's amazing. Also, the smell of their poop has a very impressive range, like really impressive. It might feel like we have shown you so many animals in this video. We can't talk about all of the animals that we saw today. This zoo is absolutely huge. We wanted to give you just a couple of tips if you decide to come to the Taipei Zoo. First, you can actually pay for the entrance fee with your Easy Pass or whatever the other card is called, which makes it really easy to get in.
In addition, there are filtered water dispensers all over the park, which is fantastic. You don't need to bring more than a small bottle of water and you just keep topping it up as you go.
Third tip that we have is to consider bringing your own lunch. We spend a lot of time standing in line at McDonald's in order to grab lunch. And we saw a lot of local families who brought their own from outside the park and then they ate in some of the picnic areas that were available. If we were to do it again, that is absolutely something that we would do. We would bring our lunch with us.
When you're staying in Taipei, you've got a ton of great day trip options. A couple that we'd recommend are Beitou Hot Springs and Jiufen.
Today we are coming to you from Beitou, a very popular day trip destination from Taipei, known for its hot springs. We're here to explore the influence of the Japanese on local architecture, and we did not have to look far to find our first Japanese-influenced building. This train station is as close to an original building as you can get. It is comprised of 82% of the building's original materials, which is really amazing. This is the Beitou train station, the original train station that served the Beitou hot springs back in the early 1900s. It was built by the Japanese, but interestingly enough, this is not the original location. The building was actually moved to a cultural park in Taipei for preservation. The city of Taipei negotiated with the landowners in order to move the Beitou train station back to its original home here in Beitou. It's just outside of the more modern Beitou train station, and the first thing that you come across when you visit this town. Silky feeling. The hot springs here in Beitou are green sulfur springs, and they are so rare that they're only found 2 places in the world. Here in Beitou and in Japan, so another Japanese connection. Can you just imagine how excited the Japanese were when they discovered that incredibly rare hot springs were located here in Taiwan? No wonder they developed this area to be such a resort experience. To be honest, I kind of thought it would smell a little bit more like rotten eggs, but it barely smells. Maybe we're here on a day where there's enough of a breeze that it takes the smell away. It's beautiful. Well, I'm on the other side of the lake now, and now I smell the sulfur, the sort of the bad egg smell that sometimes hot springs give off. It's kind of fun to be standing here with the mist kind of washing over me though. The hot springs really have curative properties, and I'm wondering if the mist also has that, or if you have to be soaked in the water. I don't actually know. It's really kind of warm too. It's nice. I like it. We are on our way to the next destination, and we're taking a shortcut. The shortcut seems to involve like 100 stairs, so maybe we should have just gone the long way around.
This is great. There's so much of this hot spring water. It's just going everywhere in this town. In the gutters, as you walk above them, you get warmed up. It's just running beneath our feet everywhere.
This is where we're going.
After a long and lovely walk up a hill, we have reached the Beitou Museum.
This museum was actually a hotel, and it was created and run by a Japanese family, so the architecture is incredibly Japanese. In fact, this is where a lot of kamikaze pilots would spend their last night, so it has a little bit of a somber background, I guess you could say, but it still looks beautiful. Let's go take a look inside.
All right.
Well, that was really unexpected. They had the kitchen closed down, so we weren't able to eat there for lunch, but instead we got a preview of a musical performance for some VIP thing happening later on.
That was fantastic. We hear the lunch is really good, so that's too bad.
I don't know, the trade-off might have been worth it to be able to see that performance. That was just so unexpected and cool. And now we are headed to the Spring City Resort, where we are going to take the waters, which we probably can't film, but that's where we're headed next.
Well, that was a fantastic Japanese lunch.
We didn't know what we were gonna order. We just pointed at things on a menu, and lo and behold, I ended up with chicken nuggets. But they were delicious. They were so tender and juicy, and I loved them. It was a fantastic lunch. And then we went to the spa.
We went to the spa. We're not able to show very much because cameras aren't allowed, but it was pretty good. They make you wear swim caps, and we had these kind of strange robes we had to wear, or we think they're strange anyway, but yeah, it was kind of fun, very relaxing.
So the rest of the video is gonna go a lot more slowly. No, I'm just kidding. We still have a lot that we need to do before things close. We spent a little bit longer here than we expected, so that's what we're headed to next. And maybe to hydrate.
Definitely.
This is Puji Temple. This temple is really unique in Taiwan, and since this is a Japanese influenced video, you might have guessed that this temple
is a Japanese temple. Fuji Temple actually is over 100 years old and is one of the few remaining Japanese Buddhist temples here in Taiwan. And it's a Shingon sect of Buddhism. This is so fascinating to us because it's the Shingon sect of Buddhism, which we first encountered back in Kaohsiung in Japan. So to run into it here in Taiwan is really unexpected and kind of cool. So I don't know, more Japanese influence in Taiwan. Really neat. It is so interesting to find so many Japanese influences here in Taiwan. We know that there's this period of time back in the early 1900s that lasted for about 50 years, commonly referred to as the Japanese colonial era. Japan really focused on expanding the infrastructure of Taiwan, and that created a lot of the rail system that you see today, and that's how Beitou became really popular. Prior to the Japanese colonial era, there wasn't really a great way to get to Beitou. Once Japan developed the rail system, then people were able to make it here much more easily. And I'm really glad that they did, because the architecture here is so beautiful and unique and very different from what we've seen in Taipei so far. We made a quick pit stop by Plum Garden, which is a beautiful Japanese building with some fun photo spots inside and lots of explanations in a language that we don't speak or read. But it still was a lot of fun to stop by there and take some photos and kind of goof around for a little bit. This is a little weird. And just admire the building, which is beautiful. We are in the northeastern city of Jiufen, one of Taiwan's most famous cities, and we are right outside of the city's most famous tea house. We are starting our day here because we know that this tea house gets extremely busy in the afternoon and can sometimes have an hour-long wait. So we are here right when they open to make sure that we can have the beautiful view overlooking the coastline. I'm so excited to spend the day here, and we are going to eat our way up and down the old historic street. One of the hosts here at the restaurant just showed us how everything worked, and it was very fast and very complicated. There was pouring in one thing, pouring in another thing, and everything was heated up. Okay. 6 times 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh no.
Then here.
It's hot water inside. 2 times 13 seconds. This here. This for the drink.
And then drinking.
Yes. This
And now I finally get to try my Alishan oolong tea. The oolong tea here smells so different than oolong tea back home. It's more like a jasmine meets oolong tea. You get a little bit of scent of oolong, but you also get very strong floral notes, which I find really interesting. Like, tea is totally different here than back home. And so much smoother. This is a tea that needs no sugar, it needs no milk. It's just delicious, smooth tea in this tiny little cup that I get to use over and over and over. When she was making it, the tea leaves, after 20 seconds, go from these tiny little tea leaves to boom, these huge pieces in the cup. Gosh, all that came out? That was like clowns coming out of a clown car. Well, that was really good. It's so hard to go downstairs and talk.
If you've never tried it, it's challenging.
And this town has a lot of stairs, it seems. That was really fun. I'm so glad that we got there right when they opened, so we were able to have one of the tables that has one of the best views. Now we're headed back down the stairs to take a look in a historic theater that I think has opened up while we were enjoying our tea. So far the town is really cool. Quite busy though. The entrance to the Shenping Theater. It is just down the stairs from the tea house that we started our day at. It dates back to 1934, but it has been reconstructed a number of times. This is Shenping Theater's original movie projector. for us to hit the old streets and get some snacks. This is the staircase that the tea house is on. And this is not very busy, but it is really early on in the day. It's only about noon right now. So if you're coming to Jiufen, know it gets super, super busy later on in the afternoon. We actually came here when we first arrived last night and we wanted to film, but it was impossibly busy. I mean, it was so crowded. There's no way we could do it, so we decided to come back this morning when hopefully it's less crowded, and I think our plan worked. If you start at the bottom of the stairs and go all the way up past the tea house and turn right, this is the view that you're greeted with from a little observation platform. It's absolutely beautiful, very similar to the view that we had for tea. I mean, I could stand here and just look at the view for hours. It's beautiful. This is also a fantastic spot for a sunset that you'll be sharing it with many other people. There are so many shops lining the street. There are people trying to give away oolong tea samples, there's souvenir shops.
Even monks got a shop too.
There's all sorts of food. If you need to do some shopping while you're here, or some eating, this is a fantastic street to go up and down. What is this? It also is really busy and super picturesque. So you might have to like elbow your way into some of the best photograph spots or best video spots. This place is really starting to pick up. Just give it a couple hours, it's gonna be a madhouse. All right, we found our first food stop. This place has a nice line and it sounds really interesting. It looks like it's a crepe with shaved peanuts or toffee or something, and then ice cream and cilantro in the middle, and this might be like my dream dessert. I'm super excited. Here's what you need to know before I go ahead and try it. The outside wrapper is impossibly thin and you can see the peanuts through it. It looks amazing. It also smells super peanutty. We had 3 choices of ice cream. There was taro, pineapple, and peanut. We went peanut, so it'd be peanut all the way through. I'm so excited. Oh my God. Cilantro, peanuts, peanut ice cream, a crepe on the outside. If I was to design my favorite dessert, this might be it.
It's like an ice cream dumpling or an ice cream spring roll. It's just, there's nothing like it. It's great.
That is definitely something to try if you come here. So, so good. Well, we just came out the other end. This is where most people enter the old street.
Including all tour buses, every last one of them.
So very many tour groups. In fact, it's pretty crowded right now and I don't think that there's a tour group. Look at all the people behind us. We have to go back in because we only ate that amazing ice cream peanut concoction thing. We gotta go back through. But that's kind of the thing to do when you visit Jiufen, is to wander up and down the old street and shop a little and eat a little and then shop a little more, have some tea and then shop and eat, and that's what we're doing. Lucky Bill. Well, you like the eating part. All right, we're going back in. We're gonna have some shrimp balls. It's like the first place that you come to and there's been a constant line here and they're making them sort of out of the street. So we decided we better have something that's not a dessert today. So these are some shrimp balls. There's cabbage in them and shrimp, and my knowledge ends there. They're also coated completely in a breading and then deep fried. They're covered in what smells like a sweet and sour sauce and served with some pickled vegetables, and they look pretty amazing. So let's see what we won. Hot, 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 hot. I can now confirm it's mainly a cabbage and onion
mixed on the inside, and then the breadcrumbs on the outside. I thought there might be rice in it, but I don't see any and I don't taste any. It's delicious. This is a fantastic street food. I have no idea what these are called, but I kind of want to eat them again. They're amazing. We only got 2, 1 for each of us. Might have been a mistake. I would actually recommend walking through here in both directions because you see different things each way that you go through. Walking through one way, you might notice some shops, some decorations, and walking through the other way, you'll notice completely different things. Along with making sure that you come here early and are gone by like 3 p.m. unless you really enjoy crowds. If crowds are your thing, start at 3 p.m. and stay until things close around 7.
Something that we haven't really talked about yet is the fact that Jiufen originally was a gold mining town. This town, in its heyday, at its highest, had 60,000 people who lived here. And then mining ran its course and the town sort of ran its course along with the gold rush ending. For a long time, the town seemed like it was dying, but then it sort of came back to life with tourism. There was a movie that popularized Jiufen because it was filmed here. And so everybody started coming here. And then the movie Spirited Away came out and it was rumored that it was inspired by this town. But it actually wasn't. And the tourists came back in droves, and now it is a thriving tourist scene. By the way, just so I don't get yelled at in the comments, the author himself has come out and said that Spirited Away is not based on Jiufen. It's just some wild coincidence that some of the places here feel like they're a little bit like in the movie, which we have seen and we sort of agree with. But apparently it's just a wild coincidence. I'll link below the author interview. If you visit Jiufen, why not stay overnight and attempt a pretty difficult hike? This is the hardest hike that we've ever done, but we were rewarded with some of the best views in every direction.
Welcome to another beautiful day in Taiwan. We are in the northeast today, and we're going to do a hike today that Heather's wanted to do for years. And she's very excited about it, although she's holding it back a little bit.
Only a little.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm like equal parts excited and nervous. I'm questioning some things because this hike looks hard. In fact, I would venture a guess that this is going to be the hardest hike we've ever attempted, and we have hiked all over Europe in some spectacular places that also were hard, but I think this is going to be even more difficult. We are starting at Teapot Mountain. Depending on how we feel at the top, then we are going to continue on to the even slightly more difficult Mount Banping? Banping? I really stink at pronouncing things here. We just do our best.
I'm no better.
This route at the beginning involves a lot of stairs, so I guess let's start with the stairs. Here are some things that we know about today's adventure. We know that we'll be scrambling through a cave to get to the top of Teapot Mountain. We'll be doing some rock scrambling.
Ow.
There are some ropes that will guide us along some ledges, and we'll be walking along the top of a mountain ridge. We'll also be aware of snakes. We've already seen like a baby one, which we did not film. And there's all sorts of signs saying beware of snakes. As is well documented, I'm not a fan. So I'm hoping we don't see any. Bill's probably hoping that we can film some. And those are the things that we know about today, along with no restrooms, no facilities, no water refill. We brought our own food. And even we'll be leaving the shade in a while. And I'm sure we'll be missing it. Yes, it's hard to talk when you're going up this many stairs. Oh, the views today I think are going to be incredible.
Where we were yesterday is just beyond this ridge right here in Jiufen.
We're starting to get glimpses of the view. I know that it's going to be spectacular today. It's so clear. It already is looking really nice. We've reached our first resting point about a half hour into our hike, which is more like just continuous never-ending stairs. It is so windy up here. I'm not complaining because it feels incredible, but boy is it windy. The view is also amazing, and there's this pagoda that gives us a little bit of shelter from the sun. This wind doesn't die down, we're not gonna be able to fly the drone today, which would be such a bummer. It appears as though we are leaving the stairs behind and starting our ankle workout with rocks. That is the top that we're headed to. This rock is strangely green and like glows in the sun. Does anybody know why? We've never seen this before. 200 more meters to the peak. I think it might all be stairs. We have reached the cave that we need to climb through. We are gonna clip our GoPro to Bill's backpack and hopefully capture the adventure through the cave because we need both hands available.
Do you have an I don't fit situation?
A little bit claustrophobic right now.
I'm sure there aren't earthquakes in this area. The backpack doesn't fit. Time to hand it up. Yeah, definitely wouldn't fit with the backpack. Ow. Wish I hadn't had so much for breakfast. Alright, I'm through. Oh, I see. Now we go this way.
What? We do?
Made it. What's next?
I went ahead just a little bit to make sure that we're going down the right way off this rock. I nearly got blown off the rock from the wind. It's so windy as we leave it. So our number one goal for this next section is to be safe as we get down from the rock and on to the next section of the next trail, which we're gonna continue on to. Yay, it's going well so far. Aside from just wind. My hair is crazy.
Adventure.
So windy. I had to tuck my shirt in. It was flying everywhere.
Marilyn Monroe moment.
And we're on the other side. It's where we came from.
What goes up must come down.
And then back up again.
True.
Oh, this path feels so much easier now. I keep turning around to look at the view behind us. We went through that.
No problem.
The climb up this mountain is a mix of stairs that are a bit uneven, the
those were not even. Nothing about those were even.
The trail is incredibly well maintained
Yeah, sure is.
for how remote it is.
And boulders. And I am looking almost even across to the rock that we were so proud of crawling up to earlier. We went through that. We went down a little bit into a low plateau and now we're climbing back up the other side. This is quite tiring if I admit it. I don't regret it. Yet? Question mark? Hey Bill, do you regret me talking you into this?
No, not yet. The day is young.
There's still time. It is so windy that we're gonna put the cameras away while we go up this pass, just to make sure that we're safe. I'm questioning some things. Like a really good place to take a break. The views from up here now are ahead of us and behind us.
And that's the ridge that we walked all the way up.
It's beautiful. We're so high up. You can just see so far today.
We brought a bunch of snacks today, and that's not the interesting bit. The interesting part is we've gone up in altitude. It's a little more puffy than it was.
I'd love to say we hauled some bento boxes with us today, but all we have is our makeshift peanut butter sandwich, strawberry jelly sandwich, smush them together, magic. You can sort of hardly make it out, but that trail leading up the mountain is our next step. It looks a little bit precarious, if I'm honest. We've enjoyed our break up here. Some people passed by coming from the other direction, which was really unexpected. And now it looks like we have some more ropes in store. Oy, oy. The break was really nice. All right, let's hit the ropes. Oh, this rope. Oh, Nelly. Why aren't we down there?
I don't know. That does look easier.
This is so awkward. This is the Heather cam now, which means that Bill's gonna have to bleep a bunch of swearing. How'd you get up there, Bill?
I don't know, I just did.
Ouch. Ow. Yeah, perfect. Nothing. Chain is useless. We think this is just about as high as we're going today, which Bill feels is important. I just feel like it's the windiest spot today. Yes, I am holding on. The views are amazing though. We don't know if this is anything significant. It could be marking an electrical line, we have no idea. Or it's something significant. It feels like triumph. Triumph! That was funny. I swear hikers are some of the nicest people that you'll meet. Whenever we're hiking, we just always encounter people who are super friendly, and I think it's something about being on the trail together. You just have this shared camaraderie. We were those people, I can't believe it. We just came from there. You know what I mean, right? If you're a hiker, let me know if you're the same way. Like, do you greet everybody? Do you feel this shared camaraderie of being out in nature and exploring things on your own with your own legs? Like, let me know. I think I'm not alone in this.
well, this is completely different. Wow.
And it smells wonderful. Some kind of sweet flower nearby.
Bill literally stops to smell the flowers as we're on this hike. I think it's just an excuse to rest.
Why wouldn't you stop to smell the flowers? That's the whole point.
Fair enough. I gotta be honest, I kind of thought that we were coming out of the scrambling and that our scrambling was done. Here we are, more ropes of a sort. They're chains. So we're still walking along the ridge. We're not done with the hike yet, honey.
Oh, I know that.
I mean, I'm not like sad, but I am starting to get a little tired. My ankles are feeling it. And my knees, especially my knees. I think we are done with the rock scrambling and the ropes. I think we're to the easy part of the trail. I've read that the first half of the loop that we're doing today is the hardest. We're going in the clockwise direction, which is the way I read to do it, so that you tackle the hard part first and then it's easy the rest of the way. I really hope that what I read was right. This is already so much easier than scrambling on rocks. I really like it. Oh boy, the views. Oh my God, the views are amazing. Holy, wow.
Let's take a closer look at some of Taiwan's largest cities, Taichung, Tainan, and Kaohsiung. Welcome to another day in Taiwan. We are in Taichung today, but only for about half a day.
We are starving. Oh, we walked so much in Taipei and Beitou that we have a serious appetite. So instead, we have found a lot of fantastic looking food locations that we're gonna explore today so that we can compare the foods of Taichung to the rest of Taiwan. I can't wait. We're starving. Our first stop today is actually, we have no idea what it is. It's a giant line that you could see behind me. We saw so many people lined up that we knew that we had to come here. It looks sort of like a dumpling, maybe there's some broth. Those already standing in line. It has been a non-stop line with a filled eating area every time that we've gone by. So we have no idea what it is, but we're really excited to try it. Still don't know what this is. It looks like it's a dumpling with maybe a meatball in the middle. It looks really hot. And like a gravy. I don't know. I'm actually gonna taste the sauce first. I don't even know how to describe that. Soy saucy, oniony, garlic. Ooh, garlic. Really thick. I have no idea. All right, let's try the dumpling. I don't know what that is. I expected that to be doughy, but it's more like rice flour. So it's like a rice flour dough with meat in the middle, ground meat of some kind. I really have no idea what this is. So if you know, let us know down below in the comments. It's really good. Still not really sure what we ate, but it was worth it.
That's fantastic for the price. Really good.
We are headed to our next stop now, which is not a food stop, to give ourselves a little bit of a break. The flavors of that dumpling were so unique and delicious. I really hope that somebody is able to tell us what it was.
The locals love it. That place was absolutely packed. They were just shuttling people in and out, in and out.
It was chaos. It was so much fun. I'm glad we stopped. Definitely something we'd recommend.
making a quick stop at this cultural center, which used to be a martial arts training center and also a prison, but not at the same time. It looks really cool. There's a lot of families here and a couple dogs. I did not plan that, but I wish I had. This incredible banyan tree has been here since 1895, surviving fires and storms, and it is a giant banyan tree. It consumes the central courtyard area. It's so cool. Pit stop before we make our next food stop. Animation Alley, it's so cute! This work in progress shows all the detail behind these incredible pieces of artwork.
Silly bird.
This animation area was so much fun. It is my favorite part of Taichung so far. I love it. It's just this peaceful little residential area with tourists wandering around looking at the amazing art. Very cool. Hey Bill, where are we headed?
I don't know, but we're both hungry, so I hope it's someplace that we can get something to eat.
It's not, but we can get something to drink there.
Ah, drinking like...
No, not that kind.
How you doing?
No.
No? Well, we have heard that Taichung is the place where bubble tea came from, and there's the original place that's here. We're gonna go see if we can find it. Here the original bubble milk tea. It's very good. You taste all the components. Black tea, the foamed milk, just a hint of sugar. Let's see if I can get down to one of the bubble tapioca things. I had a mouthful of them there, I couldn't speak. That's a lot of fun. Just kind of, I don't know, round and chewy. It's really good.
We are at Taichung's second market. Basically what we've done is found the longest line that we can, and Bill's gotten in it. We have no idea what we're getting once again. But isn't that the best when you follow where the lines are? So Bill's back there. I guess we'll find out what we got. We're close enough to the front that now we know we're getting pork, puff, and a scallion pie. They look amazing. We have found a delightful riverside promenade to try our snacks, and we're gonna try them at the same time. So all we know is mine's scallion and Bill's a pork puff, whatever that is.
1, 2, 3. Yours can't be as good as this. I think I've won.
I don't know, this is pretty good.
They're both probably really good for how much oil she was putting on them.
Yeah, it's impossible to use that much oil and have it not be delicious. Mine is thin and crispy with just a little bit of tender gooiness on the inside.
Mine is very much like an empanada, but the outside is fried rather than baked. The outside is more thin, I would say, but it's nice and crispy.
I'm excited to try it.
It's delicious, yeah. Okay, should we switch?
Yeah.
No, just be careful. It's kind of hot.
Oh, wow.
Also good.
Very good.
In Tainan today, and specifically we decided to start our video in the historic district of Banping.
In fact, if you're familiar at all with this area, you might already know where we are. That's your hint, the giant banyan tree behind us. We are at the tree house. This is not like the tree houses that you see in the United States where it's like a fort that's built for the kids. No, this place is far more interesting. Anping's treehouse actually started as a merchant warehouse. We are in an area that actually used to store dry goods. So here are the walls behind me. But over time, it fell into disrepair. When I say over time, I mean like over the course of hundreds and hundreds of years, banyan trees have taken over the warehouse.
There's a window in there somewhere.
And it's created this beautiful like art installation. I can imagine that at some point, the city of Tainan had to decide, do we keep the warehouse or do we tear it down? Well, they decided to keep it and they reinforced it with steel beams everywhere so the banyan trees can continue to keep growing. It's absolutely beautiful and an incredibly popular attraction here in the historic area of Anping. Barely had to duck. There's also a museum as part of this whole treehouse experience. It talks about the history of Taiwan. So if you're not familiar with that, that's a good place to start. But really the main attraction here at the treehouse is of course the treehouse. This is where we're headed to next. We'll tell you all about it.
This temple is dedicated to the deity Mazu, and there are temples all over Taiwan that are dedicated to this deity, but this is the largest and it's really convenient if you're in the area. so incredibly grateful that there are water dispensers all over Taiwan.
Anyone who's wondering, we've talked a lot about the stairs that we've done so far in Taiwan. In the last 3 days alone, we have walked up to the observation deck of Taipei 101, not once, but twice. That is a lot of stairs. For over 200 years, Tainan, and specifically ANPING, was the capital of Taiwan. This made sense because so much trade passed through this city. I can't believe that it stood for 200 years as the seat of the government, and even this fort was the very spot that all of the major trade relations took place. That's really neat that we can still visit it today. And we can see the cannon that's behind me. Really, this is just such a beautiful spot overlooking the town. I love it. That you can go up is actually more modern than the rest of this area. It was built at the end of the Second World War and then modified in the mid-1970s, but we still recommend going up it because the view over the city is fantastic.
The wall behind me is the only original wall still standing from the Dutch period in the 17th century. It's held together with syrup, seashells, and something else.
Rice.
Rice. This is held up for, what, 400 years? How's that possible?
It really is amazing engineering. To you from one of the cities that I was most excited to visit here in Taiwan. That's Kaohsiung. We are starting our day at Lotus Pond, which has the iconic dragon and tiger pagodas that you see all over the internet. And we are starting at one of the oldest walls in all of Taiwan. Are we? Hold on, I'll be right back. This wall is almost 200 years old. I wonder if we can go up on top. Let's go find out. The East Gate, and the East Gate is a 500-meter section that is still preserved almost exactly the way it was nearly 200 years ago. So if you come here and you want to see the city wall, this is the one to see. There are other gates. There's an east, north, south, and west. All four of them still exist, but this is the one that's the best preserved. So I would start here like we did. don't film everything that we do. I know that might be hard to believe. Well, we maybe should have filmed a couple of things because we just had an incredible lunch and then we came across this.
What is going on here?
And then we saw something else that was amazing. And that pretty much brings you up to speed with where we are now, which is...
Spin, 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 spin.
We got our first view.
Look at that. This is our first view of the Dragon and Tiger Pagoda, and it's much bigger than I expected somehow. And also, there are tons of lotus flowers floating in the bay here. It's really beautiful.
And some of them are even blooming. It's beautiful. Yeah. We are so lucky that some of them are blooming. I didn't think they would be. There is so much to see on this lake. We're walking around it, or at least we're trying to, and we only have an afternoon. So much to see, and it's all very colorful. Look at the whiskers on the cat. Well, we are the first to admit that we don't really understand what we just experienced. We know that we went in the right direction and out the right direction, and the artwork was something that we could appreciate. The colors are unlike artwork that we're used to. It's really beautiful, except when things turned a little bit scary, a little bit weird. But that was really cool. I can't believe that I finally am in this spot and seeing the pagodas in person. You know, it's so funny how you expect things to look after you've been seeing them on television and then you see them in person and they're so much bigger. That was amazing.
Look at all the turtles.
They're all over.
I've never seen so many turtles in one place at one time.
Never. We are moving around the lake in a clockwise direction, so just to the north, I guess it is, of the Tiger and the Dragon pagodas are the Spring and Autumn pagodas. And they're also very brightly colored, and you can walk through the Dragon. It's a little bit longer than the other one we went to, and a little bit less ornate, but far fewer people. So if you go to one, don't miss the one right next to it for a completely different experience. Still fun. This lake is a hub of activity today. There are so many people here, which makes it a lot of fun to visit.
It's a holiday weekend, so we think there might be more people than usual, but it's a lot of fun.
I don't think we allocated enough time for this. We are definitely running out of light and things are gonna start closing soon, but we're enjoying all of our stops, and especially the lotus flowers, which just like are calling us, video me, video me. So we really hope that you enjoy all the videos of our flowers. We're gonna have to skip this temple because we are headed to the next one at the very top of the lake, and that is where we're headed to now. They shut like in 50 minutes and we really want to see it. Well, we made it to our final temple of the day. At least we think so. This is the largest Confucius temple in all of Taiwan, so we knew we wanted to visit it while we were in Kaohsiung. And it's beautiful. The colors are so amazing, and I love the gold dragons that you can see. It really is beautiful. Most of these are instruments used in ceremonies. And there's more instruments on the other side. If you come here, there's a really good museum about the history of Confucianism with lots of signs in English that talk about history of Confucius, Confucianism, the rise of it, the fall of it during the Japan era, and then the rise of it again in the 1900s. So don't miss that. It's right behind me. Well, as you can probably tell from the light, it's getting pretty late in the day. But we have finally made it to the east side of the lake. It took us like all afternoon, literally all afternoon, to walk the west side. Not because of the distance, but because there's so many cool things to see. We found one more temple we might be able to go in. This one is looking like it's still open. I am really working on my walking backward skills today. The view from up here. You can see all across the lake from here, everywhere that we walked. This is the best view on Lotus Pond. This is not what I expected it to be. I am delighted that this temple is still open. The view from up here is absolutely amazing, and the inside of this temple might be one of the most ornate woodwork temples I've ever seen anywhere. It's stunning. And going around the outside are all these, I think they're marble engravings that again are stunning. the most beautiful temple on Lotus Pond is this one. It's fighting words, I think, because I didn't even know we should come to this one. It's just that we happened by it and saw it was still open. Do not miss this if you come to Lotus Lake. It is beautiful.
Kaohsiung also has a fantastic art scene that can't be missed. This is by far the largest model railroad display I've ever seen in my life. The level of detail is just incredible. Who's driving this thing?
In addition to Kaohsiung's famous Lotus Pond, you can also visit nearby CIJIN Island, where you can explore the island by bicycle, climb up to the lighthouse for some amazing views, and enjoy some street food.
It did not take long for us to bike to the northern tip of CIJIN Island. And we are going to climb up and we're going to see a lighthouse and there's a fort, and it looks like we get to go through a really cool tunnel. And I hope it's literally cool because it is really dang hot out today. Shall we? Forever. The view overlooking the water, the views from up here are fantastic, and this is completely free to visit, so something we'd recommend. It seems like a kite flying festival, but I think that this is just a regular day here on the island. There are not one but two Batmans. They look huge. And a really cool dragon thing and something even higher in the air, and there's birds, and this is a great place to take a break, and that's what we're gonna do.
Taiwan, but barely. We're on a tiny island called Xiaoliuqiu, which is off the very southern tip of Taiwan. And we've done something today, something we've never done before.
So yeah, we did that. That's happening today for the first time. We have rented something besides a bicycle or an electric bicycle, and we got an electric scooter. So we're gonna spend the whole day exploring the island. We have the bike for 24 hours, and we are really excited to do this on our own. Our first stop is one of the most recognizable on this island, and that's Base rock. Oh, look, I'm holding it. That's base rock. It's this rock growing out of the water during high tide that sort of looks like a vase that's holding some, well, right now they look like weeds at the top. But it is really picturesque, and there's tons of tour groups here, and I can see why so many people come here. There's also an amazing temple, so there's a lot to do at the first stop. We do have our swimsuits on today, so we are picking up some snorkel gear and we are hoping to get some swim time later on. It's kind of hot out today. I could use a swim. So if you are familiar with this island, you may notice that we are back on the northern tip. This is almost where we started this morning, but it's on the northeastern side instead of the northwestern side. We are in search of what this island is most known for, and that is their sea turtles. Everywhere that you go on this island, there are turtle things for sale, like turtle plush toys. I even saw one strapped to the back of a dog. So we are on a hunt for turtles. I mean, we're gonna stay respectfully away from them, but we are so anxious to see them. So we're going in, so we'll catch you back in the water.
It's a little colder than I expected.
Oh God. That's not warm. There are some kayakers out there. Maybe we should rent kayaks. They're a lot warmer. They look a lot warmer. I'm sure they're warmer. Taiwan is not just about the cities, although they're fantastic. The nature and the views and the river and the water, all of this is an essential part of your trip to Taiwan. So make sure that you don't miss out and plan something about nature. Taroko Gorge is an easy one to work in if you're mainly visiting Taipei and somewhere else like Kaohsiung or Taitung. Take a look at some of the things that you might see when you visit there.
Taroko Gorge was heavily damaged during a very large earthquake in eastern Taiwan in April of 2024. The trails and sites we experienced are still mostly closed to visitors as of July. We highly recommend visiting when they reopen in the future. Please check the park status before going, and we have a link in the video description. Although your experience is likely to be pretty different from ours because of the damage, if you want to see our visit, click the link on the screen to watch the full video.
Taroko Gorge is likely the first that you'll come across when researching Taiwan, but Sun Moon Lake and Alishan Mountain are great alternatives. Welcome to another day in Taiwan. Today we've made our way to Sun Moon Lake.
Now we are biking around Sun Moon Lake today. When we went to rent our bikes last night, things took a turn for the interesting. We'll show you what we mean in a little bit. For now, we're starting down at Sun Moon Lake at one of the statues that tells you how high the water level is at Sun Moon Lake. It's right here. Now these frogs tell you the water level of Sun Moon Lake, and if you can see all 9 of them, it means that the water level at the lake is really low, and we can definitely see all 9 frogs. So a little bit of a drought in Taiwan right now, but hey, it means we get to see all 9 frogs. We are starting our bicycling route down near Alishan, and we are going counterclockwise around the lake. The water level is definitely low, but it's still beautiful here with the mountains around it. We can see some temples off in the distance, which I assume we're gonna come to at the end of our loop. So I'm kind of excited to see those. No fishing with electricity, poison, or explosives. What the heck?
Smile on your face. Don't really have a reason why, but I don't even have to try. This feeling is here to stay. Let's keep it going all night. Don't stop till we see sunlight. We've been drinking all that cheap wine all night. Acting stupid, but it feels so right.
Look at this cool art. They're trash cans. Well, we are a little bit further along, and it looks like we found a bike path, which would be a lot safer because we have been biking along the road, sharing it with cars, and a near miss with a bus. And when you go around the corner, it could be you, a car, and a bus. I had to hit my brakes. I had to slam on them. I was going, oh, swear word. We can't say that on YouTube. Anyhow, I slammed on my brakes and everything was fine. Nobody fell, nobody honked. Everybody just stopped and slowly went. So it was fine, but just know that you're gonna be sharing the road with cars and buses, and if that gives you some anxiety, this is probably not for you. Well, we made it to Wenwu Temple. Well, at least this is the top of it. We kind of came in at the wrong area looking for a bathroom. Wow, this is absolutely beautiful and massive. It's so ornate, it's stunning. One of the most beautiful temples we've ever been to, judging by the back of it.
And that's just the temple that she's been talking about. The view is also fantastic.
Well, we finally made it down to the front of the temple, and there's all these English explanations. So the front is probably the best place to start if you visit Wenwu Temple. And you should visit this temple because it is absolutely gorgeous. It is one of the most unique ones that we've ever seen in our travels in Asia, and the setting overlooking the lake can't be compared to anything else. Absolutely beautiful. Make sure that you come here if you come to Sun Moon Lake. In case anyone is watching this and looking for information about how long it takes to visit the temple, we've been here for 2 hours and we tried to move as fast as we could, but it does take us longer when we're filming things. So I would allocate a couple of hours if you come this way.
better turn up. You better be there when I shake. Watch me rockin' if I can't stop. If I should fall, just go ahead. Go and catch me, baby. Ooh, I live it. That's my tune. Choo-ah, choo-doo-ah. Ooh, I love it. Crank it up, yeah, yeah, yeah. Turn it up on a higher level. Turn it up, we got this. Turn it up on a higher level. Turn it up, we got this. Turn it up on a higher level. Turn it up, we got this. Turn it up on a higher level. Turn it up.
We've seen lots of signs saying don't feed the monkeys. Haven't seen any monkeys yet, which is just fine with us. We haven't been able to film the view out the side very much, but it is stunning.
We may be forced to cause a scene, make some trouble, baby. Ooh, I live it. That's my tune. Choo-ah, choo-doo-ah. Ooh, I love it. Crank it up, yeah, yeah, yeah. Turn it.
We made it to one last temple just before they closed. This one you see behind me, I think is the last temple before we get back to where we began. And we made it with 15 minutes to spare. The colors inside were so vibrant. This temple is a lot smaller than Wenwu Temple, but the setting overlooking the lake with the mountains in the distance is absolutely spectacular. And did I mention the vibrant colors? Absolutely beautiful. I'm so glad that we made it to this one with just a few minutes to spare so we could look around and enjoy it. And we've been enjoying the drum ceremony for like the last half hour. Unfortunately, we had a mic fail, so you don't get to listen to it, but we enjoyed it. Check out this elephant too. Look at how cute he is. So we still need to tell you about the bikes that we've been on today. Hopefully you've been paying attention to this video because it's really interesting. We love to bike in scenic areas like this. There's no better way to get closer to nature and also see a lot at the same time. So we set out to rent some electric bikes last night. Well, these are not the normal electric bikes that we rent. In fact, I'm not even sure you could call it a bike. It's more of like a bike meets a scooter. We've kind of been calling them scoot bikes. You don't even have to pedal, which feels like cheating, like a lot of cheating. But it's also been a lot of fun. And I think it's something we'd recommend. Biking around this has taken even longer than we expected because there's so many fun places to pull over and take photos, not just of the lake, but also of the things that are around you, like this. Wait, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Let's okay, obviously we did not coordinate that ahead of time. I'm so glad we got here just in time. But as usual, everything takes longer than we think it should because, you know, recording things for you guys. Well, that was way more fun than I expected it to be. Also far faster than I expected it to be. Also far more dangerous than I expected it to be. I mean, I didn't hit anything. The only danger was myself.
You fell that one time.
So did you. You just didn't capture it on camera.
It wasn't on camera. It didn't happen. Welcome back to another great day in Taiwan.
I bet that you didn't know that there are places in Taiwan where you could be cold. Yes, that is why we have new hats and new gloves. We are a little bit chilly. Today we traveled from Sun Moon Lake to Alishan, and we've got up in elevation and it's beautiful but chilly. And the whole reason that we're here is to maybe find some cherry blossoms.
They're a little bit past season, but
not by much.
Here in the high altitudes, we got cherry blossoms, and they look amazing, and there's tons of them in the city.
They're right above us. It's absolutely beautiful. We are spending the next day here, just one night, and we are hoping to see the sunrise tomorrow morning. It's sort of the thing to do, but also it's really hard to catch the sunrise at the top. If you've been to Hawaii and you've tried to view the sunrise from Haleakala, it's sort of the same thing. So our fingers are crossed that we'll be able to see that tomorrow morning, but in the meantime, we're off to go cherry blossom hunting. That's where we're headed now. We're starting so late in the day that literally everybody is walking in the other direction, but maybe that means that the cherry blossoms will be less crowded.
It looks foggy here, but those are actually the clouds. We're at the level of the clouds, which we didn't really expect, but it's so cool. This is a lot of stairs.
I'm whispering. I don't think he cares that I'm here. If you come here and want to avoid climbing up all the stairs that we climbed, there's a handy train station right here. That would have been a lot less work. Pro tip. There are actually multiple kinds of cherry blossoms that bloom here in Taiwan, and we're sort of at the very end of one season and the start of the next. So some of the blossoms are on the ground and some are just starting to emerge, but it's still beautiful, and all of the ones that are open are stunning. I love the way that the branches of the trees sort of go outwards instead of upwards. They're not full and round like we're used to the trees back in Minnesota where we're from. These ones sort of branch out more horizontally, and I think it makes for a really interesting tree. These are beautiful trees, sort of with or without the blossoms, but the blossoms are extra special. Plus I'm underneath some kind of weird Eiffel Tower looking thing, which is kind of cool. Eiffel Tower thing. Same shot 5 minutes later. Clouds rolled in.
So all those cherry blossoms we were just taking a ton of video for were right there, right in front of the Alishan police station.
These trees are probably days away from being in full bloom. Beautiful. And we are the only people. This is what we're seeing. You're about to see Bill. Here comes Bill. There goes Bill. Literally nobody else in this grove. All I can hear right now is a train rumbling in the distance, some raindrops falling to the ground, and the sound of tons of bees doing their bee thing. All these people were on these platforms overlooking where we just were with the younger cherry blossom trees, and when that happens, we usually go the other way, trying to see if we can escape people and what we might find. And this time we found more mature trees that are just starting to bloom, and they're beautiful. Sometimes you gotta take the road less traveled because it pays off. Sometimes it doesn't. It's times like this where you wonder, should you have turned around? Where were we? Sometimes it definitely does not, but this time it did. Sometimes when you wander away from the crowds, you lose where you are on the map that's not super accurate or to scale. So where are we? I don't know.
Are we lost?
We're not lost, we are here. Soon we will be there.
Man down.
I just heard a thunk and I heard man down, and this is what I see.
I successfully missed the first step.
I did not miss the second step.
I avoided that one successfully, and I found that one.
This looks kind of creepy. It's all misty and foggy and giant trees.
Heather's been calling this a photographer's hell and heaven.
The trees, they're so beautiful. We are on our way to the sisters' ponds, but on the way, this forest is absolutely beautiful and like shrouded in mist, and it's stunning. The trees are massive, really, really tall. And again, the only people back here. I mean, we might be the only people because it's kind of late in the day. Hard to say. How do you like the forest, Bill?
I love it.
There was a sign earlier in our walk that was next to one of these stumps. It said, "Respect the tree for giving its life to be here today as stump art." It wasn't called stump art, it was something else. But I'm gonna call it stump art because this is artistic, it's beautiful. I love how the tree roots just sort of dig down into the ground in every direction. Except they kind of look like licorice to me.
She's really going all in.
It's green licorice.
Doubling down.
I am doubling down. Big strands of licorice. These mountains have sort of a different smell, I would say, than other places that we've been. It smells like this mixture of earth and green and trees combined with fresh rain, and it's just like the cleanest smell. I just want to bottle it up and bring it home. I wish I could describe it better for you. How fresh and clean it smells. It's just a literal breath of fresh air. Look at this tree stump art off in the distance. It's glowing. There must be a spot of sun hitting it. It is just stunning. It's so ethereal with the mist around it and the fog and the clouds. I don't know how it's being lit up. It's so unique. We found the pond that we're looking for. It's quiet and calm and pretty peaceful here. And the reflections in the pond, because it's so still, look exactly like what's above it. And that's what it looks like behind the scenes. We're used to closing places down because it just takes us so much longer to see things because we're filming. But closing down a forest that's not lit is not like the best of ideas. So I guess we got to get moving. Let's have some fun. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, what's up?
We have to get up in 10 hours.
Is that going to be worth it?
We will all find out together. Keep watching.
What does it smell like?
Magnolias.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Apparently this is also the end of magnolia season, but there are still some blossoms on the tree. All right, so today in the afternoon, we followed this path all the way up here. And then over here, the police station is where we filmed some of those beautiful cherry blossoms at. Then we were in Cherry Blossom Trail. And then back here is where we found ourselves by ourselves. And then we continued on to the sister ponds around by the Pig Tree, Magnolia Garden. And then this is where we ended. And that is the path that we took on day one. Well, it is so late that there are no more shuttles running, so we need to hoof it back to Central Alishan, which actually we'll show you tomorrow when it's light out, because the lights are coming on now because it's getting dark. So it's time for us to find some dinner, and we'll see you in the morning where hopefully we're catching a sunrise. Well, we made it to the viewing platform. We got up at 3:45 a.m., took the train to the top, the very final stop, and you can keep walking up to another platform, but that's also where all the hotels drop people off. So we are at the lower viewing platform where the train is. There's far fewer people here, and we have good perch for our camera, so all we need now is for the sun to give us just a little bit of a peek in between the clouds that we see to make this worth it. Oh, please, please, sun, come up, please. Bill is not warm.
I'm wearing everything I've got. It's not enough.
We both are wearing everything we got and a few things we bought. It is pretty chilly. It's like 45 degrees Fahrenheit right now, which is chilly. Well, it's 6:09 a.m. and the sun has officially risen somewhere. It has remained pretty cloudy, but it still has been a fun experience. I don't really regret getting up this early. Bill probably has a different answer. We recorded as much as we could from multiple different angles, and we knew this was going to be a long shot, but I don't know when we're going to get back to this area.
That is clear blue sky. Here's all the clouds. There's the sunrise.
Someday, maybe we'll have to come back and stay here longer so that we have a better shot at seeing the sunrise. It still is beautiful overlooking the valley, and the clouds are starting to show a bit of pink. Also, we are quite the spectacle with all of our cameras. This is a little ridiculous.
This is my life now.
And somebody's been going around recording us, which is really cute and kind of funny. So we're being recorded while we're recording. If you are watching this person, we see you in the background. Yes, that was the one and only train leaving. Now we are going to climb back down. We really wanted to video it leaving. Plus, I'm sure there's things to see on the way. So that's where we're headed next. Well, we hurried down the mountain to this giant cherry blossom tree that we saw last night, trying to beat all of the people that we knew would be there. Were we successful?
Not exactly.
We were not. It's still beautiful though. Let's go take a closer look. This is marked on our map as the King Cherry Blossom Tree, and I have to agree, it's spectacular. It's massive. Its branches spread out wide in every direction, and the flowers are just magnificent. Since the thing to do here is to see the sunrise, that means everybody is up and about at 8 a.m., which is sort of unusual. So we don't have the place to ourselves, but it's beautiful. We found even more cherry blossom trees than we saw last night in the dark. We've come back to them. There's one remaining section that we want to hike through before our time here is done. We have to check out of our hotel by 11 a.m., so we're sort of in a little bit of a hurry. But this is so beautiful here. It's just, so far it might be my favorite spot in Taiwan. I mean, we've only been here for like a week, but so far it might be my favorite. A monk just passed us and gave us a tip about a beautiful tree back here that's different from the other cherry blossoms. The branches sort of go downwards and the color on the flowers is just a little bit different.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by. It doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the greater.
Behind me is the 3-generation trees. Originally I thought, okay, some cool trees, but this section right here is the 1st generation of the tree. It lived approximately 2,500 years ago. That's a really long time. And after it died, about 250 years later, the 2nd generation tree, which is this one right here, started growing out of the original 1st generation tree. And so you ended up with the 2nd generation. The 3rd generation is way up there. It is alive today, growing out of the first 2 generations. They just keep growing on each other and pulling nutrients out of the trees as they pass away, I guess you could say. That is really cool to see that the life emerges from the trees that went before.
Feeling is all gone. If I could take you back to my youth, show you what I wish I knew. My will is strong with a place to lean. In a moment I hung desperately. The other ring on my wrist is gold, pairing with the light it holds. When I return from my skin and bones, I'm remembering the words you told me. Wait, hold on.
My My smartwatch tells me that yesterday we went up 82 flights of stairs. We only walked 6 miles yesterday, so like this huge portion of what we did was stairs. Today, I think we're going down 82 flights of stairs. It's probably for the best. I'm still pretty tired from going up all those stairs yesterday.
I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone.
To show you around Alishan, which is sort of the base camp area that we've been staying at for exploring the mountain. It's less of a town and it's more tourist facilities than anything. There's hotels, there's restaurants, there's sort of this food court hawker center thing, which is amazing, and we really enjoyed eating there.
This place, very good.
There's general purpose shops and souvenir shops. There's even a 7-Eleven. The tourist information center is fantastic and will store your luggage for you. And of course, the train station, which you'll be frequenting if you decide to explore this area. We had a lot of fun here. It was a literal breath of fresh air.
Welcome to another day in Taiwan. We have made our way to a town called FENQIHU.
We are spending today in FENQIHU exploring this town's connection between lumberjacks and the logging industry and food. And while we're here, we're also going to take in a couple of hikes right here in FENQIHU. But we arrived hungry and we already have our first stop picked out. So that is where we're headed to next. To start with, you can tell that the history of this town is really rooted in trains because here's a train station behind me and just across from it is the train that we're standing in front of. Also, yes, we are absolutely standing in the middle of the train tracks. We've checked Google Maps and we don't see any trains scheduled to arrive today. So I guess this is safe. We've seen other people do it. So we do as the locals do, I guess. And we walk on train tracks. Perfectly safe. Nothing to see here. So although the history of this town is rooted in trains, today, it's more of a stopover for tourists on their way up to the Alishan Scenic Park area. Hey, remember that I said that according to Google, there weren't any trains coming through? Wrong! It's not on the track we were standing on though, so we were never in any actual danger. This is why Google didn't know about it. Is this town. We're just wandering some of the back alleyways and stumbled across this beautiful pond that Bill is currently filming. Got a little bit of a late start today, so I think we're gonna seek out the lunch, which is something that this town is really famous for. And I'm really excited to try it. The dogs here crack me up. They just lie down wherever they want. So one of the things that FENQIHU is famous for is their bento boxes. We enjoyed bento boxes when we were in Japan, so when we heard that they were famous here, we had to come and try some. We found a bento box place where you have the bento box in the restaurant, which is nice because we could use a little bit of a break. We've been walking an awful lot the last few days. So we're gonna try this place right behind me with the red awning. FENQIHU started out as a logging town, and the workers would pass through this town on their way to work, and they would have about a 30-minute stop here, and it was around lunchtime. So they would jump off of the train, grab bento boxes, have a quick lunch before heading on their way. Today, there are no loggers that pass through here anymore, but tourists do, and they keep the tradition of bento boxes alive.
So we're here to participate in the tradition. They came in these octagonal boxes. It looks delicious. I'm super curious.
So we've each ordered different ones, and I'm gonna try the chicken leg. It smells really good. It's got some kind of sweet and spicy marinade, or I'm not sure. It's not spicy, but it's extremely flavorful. I'd have to say it's some of the best barbecued style chicken I've ever had. I mean, excellent. It's very good. Wait till you try it. If you get to try it, that is.
I suppose that threat goes both ways.
Yeah, it's excellent. I'm really gonna enjoy this.
This chicken.
Describe the chicken.
All right, well, Bill got chicken, which is delicious. I got a pork cutlet of some kind, but let's talk about the other things included in our bento boxes. There's rice, there's cooked cabbage, there's bonito, there's bamboo shoots, there's some vegetables that must be in season. It's broccoli right now. Some rice underneath it, which is nice and warm, and also some tofu. And we smell stinky tofu. I don't know what this is yet. We had stinky tofu in Taipei, which at first tasted good, but then we had trouble swallowing it. So we're a little nervous. So I'm gonna try it and find out whether it's stinky tofu or regular. I think it's regular. Oh yeah, regular tofu. And the pork. Oh, wow. The pork is just as delicious as the chicken. The pork is extremely thin and incredibly tender and juicy and crispy on the outside with a little bit of flavoring. There's definitely cumin and some black pepper, and I'm not sure what else is on it for its spices, but wow, this place really does meat well. I would absolutely recommend coming here and trying probably anything on the menu. This is amazing. Now that I've eaten most of my pork cutlet, strangely, the spices are exactly like Kentucky Fried Chicken, which is really unexpected and really odd, but I think I found where the Colonel found his secret recipe. It's right here in FENQIHU.
That was delicious. We've just saved a little bit of room, so we're gonna go back, and there's some treats back here we're gonna check out a little bit later.
Actually, I'm glad that it wasn't any bigger so that I still have room for more, because there are so many foods here we haven't seen elsewhere, or like twists on things that we've seen, and I'm really excited to keep eating. We did not think we were making a food video today, but apparently we are. This is the shop that we got our train cakes at that we're gonna eat and tell you about in a little bit.
Hilly town.
We are back where we started at the train station. We looked for the steam train museum that's here, but it appears to be shut. There are so many trails in this area. We're looking for a logger's trail.
So I was really excited to take this path because it's a loggers trail, but it's not just named the loggers trail for no reason. This actually was literally a loggers trail. This is the way that the lumberwood in the area would be taken in and out of this particular mountain. The track you can see beside me is what two-person teams would use to haul the lumber in and out. And there's actually a sign on the way in that's in English in addition to Chinese. And it explained to us that typically the teams were husband and wife teams hauling the wood in and out. And the person in front kind of was responsible for steering, and they had to make sure that the wood wouldn't go down these paths too quickly. So this was used back during the Japanese colonial era. I just find that fascinating. It's so interesting. It was really cool that now it's a pathway that we can walk along. And supposedly there's a bamboo grove coming up. Oh, this day is so amazing.
We're definitely okay, but what is this? What does that mean? Here's another one.
All the way to the top without stopping. Maybe I should have read a little bit more about this trail before starting. There is nothing but stairs, nothing. But now there's also nothing but bamboo surrounding us. Every direction looks like this. It is a wind-free day, so we're not able to enjoy the sound of them clinking together. But still seeing them growing en masse wild here is beautiful. If you were wondering what was at the top of those stairs, the answer is more stairs. I wonder if there's a lookout platform at the top. That would be pretty epic. We're pretty high up.
You have no idea how difficult it is to walk up these stairs, point the camera at oneself, and talk at the same time.
And for anyone who's wondering, yes, we are still going upstairs. They do not end. It is really something else. But
See?
I'm really trying to take this all in though, because after today, we leave the countryside, these beautiful mountains and forests, and we head back to the city. So I'm breathing it all in. I'm listening to the silence, except for the sound of my own voice, of course. The only thing I hear are some kids playing off in the distance and the sound of my heart pounding in my chest. Boom, 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 boom. Stop going upstairs, Heather, stop going upstairs.
Heather forgot to mention the sound of the mosquitoes buzzing around our heads. The force is strong with them.
No epic viewpoint from the very top, and what goes up must go back down.
And we just walked down this colossal set of stairs.
Oh no, I think that's our exit. Blocked off. Trail exit. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Time to get out the translator.
If we've read this right, this project was set to complete about 11 years ago. Not okay.
I feel like it looks like people have taken this and gotten on up ahead, but our other option is to go all the way back up and down those stairs. I'm not saying that we're gonna do this, but I am saying we'll see you on the other side. He's just testing it out. He's walking beside the stairs. Nothing to see here. We are definitely not on the other side of that fence.
Nope.
Nope, nothing to see here. Go about your business. Well, for anyone who's wondering, the stairs pop out there. I mean, we just happened to be wandering by and we saw them, so we thought we would tell you. I have to admit, FENQIHU is not at all what we expected it to be like. It has been a delightful city to stroll around in and try the foods, and the people here have been so friendly and amazing. We thought we'd only be here for a couple of hours, but we've been here all day. Yeah, so we're heading back to get more food. I should be ashamed, but we have walked so much, I'm not. Next, we have some train cakes. We were really curious about what they were, and it turns out that they are little cakes shaped sort of like trains. And this recipe has been around for 80 years. Fortunately, somebody stopped by the shop who spoke Chinese and English, and so we have a lot of history about these. The lumberjacks used to stop at the shop and pick up these train cakes. And because of the way that they're made, these would last a lot longer than the bento boxes, which had to be eaten right away. So the lumberjacks were able to take these with them and eat them throughout the day as they got hungry. And they were really affordable too. Well, once we heard the history behind it, we knew we had to give these a try. 2 of them are savory and 2 of them are sweet. And we have no idea which are which. I'm hoping for sweet because it's not quite dinner time yet. Let's find out. These really are like edible art. I love that there's sort of this train or locomotive stamped on the top. It's really neat. All right, is it sweet or is it savory? Let's find out. What is that? Bean paste? Gotta be bean paste. I think this is sweet, but it's not overly sweet. I have to say this is not at all what I expected, which is sort of a trend for us when we're traveling. We try all sorts of things that we have no idea what they are.
That's the whole point.
Which Bill's right. We're adding this to the list. I expected it to be sort of a little bit more like a bread dough, and it's actually denser like a cake dough. But actually the emphasis is on the filling, which in this case is apparently red bean paste. It's the sweet one. It is really filling. I can see how the lumberjacks could use this to power them through the day. It's a really tasty treat. Taitung is a laid-back city on the East Coast that makes a great base for bicycling in either Chishang or Guanshan. We are spending the day today in Taitung, starting here at the TAINAN archaeological site, which is far larger than we expected and is already pretty amazing. We can't wait to tell you all about this prehistoric culture. I really admire what Taiwan is doing in preserving a lot of the things that are at the site, starting with the house that's behind me. They actually consulted the elders in some of the Aboriginal tribes that live here in Taiwan in order to understand traditional construction methods and some of the materials that might be used, and engaged their help in building this building. So I really like that they're trying to go for an authentic feel for the recreations of the buildings that are here. Speaking of trying to preserve the local history, what I find really interesting about this park is that it's Taiwan's first archaeological park. It might be the only one, but it's definitely the first. And it's not just a park that's been completed. There's an active dig taking place right here that we'll see in just a little bit. Building behind me that sort of looks like a mushroom is where young men would go at the age of 12, 13, sort of when they were just becoming teenagers, to be taught skills that they would need later on in life, like traditions about the culture and myths and how to hunt and maybe how to fish, although the people who lived here actually didn't fish very much. There's even a fire pit inside, there's beds. I guess this is sort of like maybe an early boarding school for boys. I just really like how the building looks. It's the only one that we've seen here that's round. the next stop here is actually a bunch of stone pillars that used to stand here. They have some actual photo evidence going back like 100 years showing that these used to be here. They actually have holes in the top, and the theory is that these used to be used for building structures, but they have no actual evidence that proves that.
Throughout the park here, there's bathrooms everywhere, and that's great. But
I'm just gonna hold it.
what's behind me is a pile of rocks. Well, at least it seems so at first glance. But there are really helpful English descriptions all around telling you what you're looking at.
Behind me is the newest excavation site. New is still a little bit old. They covered this in 1996 in order to preserve everything that remained underneath it, all of the old goodies that are down under the earth that they have been digging up for the past, I don't know, 30 or 40 years. In fact, based in part on what archaeologists have found here and the rest of Taiwan, along with other evidence, it is now believed that the indigenous people who lived here in Taiwan spread out to the other Pan-Asian islands and countries, and that this is where people launched from. Not like here, but the island of Taiwan. It's just really interesting how things evolve over time in your knowledge and understanding our history. In this whole area that we've been exploring today, archaeologists have actually uncovered thousands of slate coffins, the largest slate coffin area in all of Asia, in fact, is right here in Taitung. So significant are the findings here in Beitou that Taiwan has actually applied for this area to be an UNESCO World Heritage Site. Currently, Taiwan has precisely 0 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. They have a number up for application, and this is one of them. So I guess we'll be able to say that we came here before it was a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Given the significance of history that stems from this area, I don't know, it seems worthy of the designation to me.
In case you're wondering how we sound so knowledgeable about all of this,
it's because we started our day at the museum. Well, this is a first. I've never seen a dramatic reenactment of history through Legos at the archaeological site. This is amazing. It's not very expensive to get into, only $30, and it's very informational, has many signs in English, and we learned all about the history of this area, and there were even some fun photo ops. And if you decide to come here, we would absolutely recommend starting your time at the museum.
and you've got to check out the museum because you want to learn more about the questionable dental practices that this culture had. It's interesting.
Okay, fair. All right, now we are going to grab a snack near the train station and then try to find a bus because we are headed to a former railway area that has been turned into another art installation. That's where we're headed now. Now, unlike the art pillars that we saw earlier, the ones that had been reconstructed, this baby is original and is 3,000 years old. It's just been standing here watching over the valley all that time. Really incredible that this is still standing. I wonder how far down its base has to go underground in order for it to be stable. 3,000 years of typhoons and we have man-made things that just get crushed. I love these.
We successfully navigated the bus system and made our way to another train station, which is where we just came from.
Yep. It sure is. But this one is no longer in use as a train station and is now sort of an art exhibit with some old cool train cars behind us. We don't really know what else we're gonna find, so I guess let's explore together and find out. The train turntable you see behind me, that is not the technical term for it. It's over 100 years old and was built in 1919. I can only guess that something has changed where we are because this turntable does not actually connect up with any of the rail lines that surround us. So either this is not its original place or the line that it was connected to no longer exists. They kind of fan out in either direction around it, but don't actually connect to the turntable behind me. Still, this is over 100 years old and it is one of the last ones left in Taiwan.
Standing underneath the lights, look into each other's eyes. Tired snowflakes are coming down, collapse into water when they hit the ground.
In case you're wondering, the answer is yes, we really do like playing around and filming these art installations. They're a lot of fun. Have to jump through a lot of hoops to get here though. Ba-dum-bum.
I can promise you're the only thing I see.
I don't think we've traveled to anywhere else that has preserved their rail stations in quite the same way. It is as though the station itself has stopped in time. All the platforms are still numbered and you can still, well, I mean it's locked, but you can still wait in one of the waiting areas back there, and the tracks are overgrown with grass. I find this so interesting, and it's really kind of beautiful the way that nature takes over or art takes over, yet still preserving things in time. It's really cool. I am absolutely loving visiting these all over Taiwan.
Time is running out of sight. Lonely wind is passing.
We understand that this whole area is a music scene. Unfortunately, we are here on a night where there's no music. Just fighter jets flying overhead. Well, next time.
We understand there's a park nearby, and we're going to take a look at that. And there, I think, is also a pagoda that you can climb up to.
Maybe not to the top of it, but up to it. Maybe there's a view overlooking the city, which is something we love. Headed there now.
All right.
Looks like we can go all the way up there. So the stairs are not done, Bill. This actually is a lot of stairs. Me and my big mouth. Should've stopped. Okay, I cannot tell you exactly how many stairs there are, but there are at least 170. I did not start counting at the very bottom. And this is the view I hope for. Overlooking the city, we can see the ocean in the distance, we can see the Railway Art Center where we just were. This is such a beautiful viewpoint, I love it. That vantage point was amazing, but it looked like the water was really close to us, so we're on a road that sort of leads straight to the ocean, and that's where we're headed. I know that we're facing east, but maybe we'll get a sunset reflection on the east side.
have heard the garbage truck song, but we've never been positioned to have one go directly up by us. And here in Taiwan, the way it seems to work is everybody brings their trash out from their place of business or their home, and they wait for the garbage truck to go by, and then they like hurriedly take all the stuff and put it in the back. We've never like seen that part of the process until now.
It's very different for us in the United States. The garbage comes once a week, and we just set it on the curb, and that's it. It gets taken away. It's, to us, seems more simple, but
this works. This works. I'm glad we finally saw it in person. And the garbage guy was so friendly. Well, we made it to the water. The sun is still setting, but there's some rain that's moved in, so I don't think we're gonna have an actual sunset. But we found a building here that looks like it's straight out of a Star Wars movie. So that is where we're walking to now. There's so many people along here, it's so much fun. All right, now that I'm closer to it, it looks more like a tree than something out of Star Wars. It's still really cool looking though. Is this art? Is this a boardwalk? I don't really understand what's going on here, but it's really neat. Welcome back to another day in Taiwan. We have an unusual mode of transport today.
what are you saying about my car?
I'm saying your car is a little bit inadequate. We have traveled north from Taitung to Guanshan. We are biking around the city of Guanshan. This actually is the first dedicated bicycle path in all of Taiwan. So what better way to explore it than an electric go-kart? What is this? An electric golf cart? An electric bicycle? That's what I'm talking about. We have our own shade today. We are not even using our feet.
Although we could, technically.
We probably will at some point. We are really excited about exploring Guanshan, so I guess let's go. We've literally barely begun. He's already making me pedal. Oh geez. I far prefer the electric method. Oh my god, it's kind of hard to coordinate. No. Give us the juice, man. We've read that there's a lot of stops to make along the way, and we think we're at our first one. There's sort of this red overhang. It's beautiful so far with all of the rice paddies around us, and it smells green. Like, you know what I mean when it smells green. Do you know what I mean?
It smells like the outdoors, yeah.
Seatbelts fastened?
Check.
Hit it. Oh my god. This would have been an amazing spot for the lunches that we bought, which were bento boxes. And in fact, we're gonna send you back in time because we already ate them.
So this area is known for having very flavorful rice. It just looks like white rice, so we're really curious whether it's actually different. This is something we've been looking forward to. Let's give it a try.
All right.
Oh, that actually is different.
It's stickier. I can also taste every grain. Somehow each individual piece of rice is more firm.
Yeah, it's a little bit like chewier, but not in a bad way. Plus, it's far more fragrant than normal plain white rice. The closest thing that I can compare this to is the rice that's in chicken rice in Singapore. It kind of tastes like that, and it doesn't appear like there's any spices or anything added to this. So if that's the rice naturally, that's amazing. We understand that water runoff from nearby mountains affects the taste of the rice in this area, and that makes it very highly prized for its flavor.
I got the pork. There's a couple different kinds here. It looks like a breaded or maybe barbecue kind of flavor. And then there's another one that's more like a slice of a sausage.
I know we were supposed to get the bento boxes because of the rice, but the fried chicken that I had for lunch today might be the best I've had in Taiwan so far.
And you've tried KFC.
And we've had a lot.
Including KFC.
No. Back to biking.
Welcome back from lunch, by the way. We hope you enjoyed that. We are on the north side of the loop that circles Guanshan. We've gone maybe 3 or 4 kilometers, and there's 12 kilometers in total. So far it's been pretty flat, just a little bit of an uphill, and now we're slightly going uphill. And we have been surrounded by rice paddies this whole time, and usually some water that's being used to water the rice paddies. It's been beautiful so far. And this is our carriage for the day, complete with my driver.
So you're the fire, you're the flame, you're the song inside.
I think I should have driven today.
And I will taste every note. Feels so good when you're in my head. And you're the fire, you're the flare, you're the song inside my head. And I will taste every note. Feels so good when you're in my head. And it's the road I figured and the curves I've been living. The flag I'm giving a signal.
We just emerged from a bunch of tree tunnels to the most amazing view overlooking the town and the valley and all the rice fields. It's a beautiful day, so we can see pretty far. This is really fun. This bamboo is all creaky. Wait, no, don't get closer, they'll go away.
What are you talking about? They want our water bottle and our glasses.
No, these ones are not. No, just stop the car. We can hear some monkeys, but we can't find them. These are not like the monkeys in Bali that come and take your things. These are ones that left quickly when we approached. We're trying to get them on film, but the only monkey I see right now is that one.
You know why they're hiding right now? It's because they're gonna hide and then jump out and take our things.
Not happening. We don't have any bananas.
Can you see them? They're back there.
That one's got a baby.
Look at the little baby head. Oh my god, the baby's so small. This is not our first encounter with monkeys, so I keep checking our cart to make sure things are okay and there's no monkey going through everything. Now that is the way. There's another one. You can hear him running away. Now that is the way that monkeys should be experienced in the wild, I feel. They shouldn't be coming up and stealing things from our bags or being aggressive. That's learned behavior by humans being around them all the time. But here, they're timid of us, which is the way I feel like it should be. And we just stare at each other from afar. This was an amazing encounter. I loved this one. Maybe I don't hate monkeys after all. Bye, monkeys. If you decide to
to do this biking route. There is even a bathroom partway around and helpful signs to tell you how many calories you have or have not burned.
I'm working hard over here. I don't know about you.
You are not. Rush hour. I don't think we've mentioned it yet, but this bike loop that we're not really biking on today is the first trail in Taiwan absolutely dedicated only to bikers and walkers, which I think is amazing. It's so much more fun, and this is blissfully uncrowded. There's hardly anyone else here. We've seen maybe 2 other carriages like ours, a couple of walkers, and some blokes back there who are monkeying around. Other than that, it's just been us. It's been a lovely way to spend an afternoon. Really recommend this so far, but we're not done yet. I have questions about my driver's parking skills. In case he tips over, I'll just wait up here. Serves him right. Oh my God, stay on the road. Definitely should have driven today. He just sits there eating bonbons. 23 minutes till we have to have our coach back.
No problem.
Hit it. I'm just kidding, don't. God. I think it's stay left. Guanshan Town Circle bicycle path. This is it. Oh God. Well, we have about 1 kilometer left to go, and we popped out at this beautiful lake and this cool bridge. It's a good thing we're nearly done because we have less than 12 minutes to return our electric coach that we've been using today. This park is really cool. It looks like it's a water park of some kind, but maybe the water features don't run during the week.
Do you feel like time is passing?
At least that's his bicycle path. Oh God.
Caught in the wind, but
We think we found the right path. We have 5 minutes to return our electric coach. 5 minutes. We're just gonna focus on getting this back at this point, I think.
can't help feeling like time is passing through.
Turning.
Oh God.
Bump.
Made it.
Yeah. Welcome to another beautiful day in Taiwan. Today we're in Chishang.
It's so good.
Yes!
We again today have rented 4 wheels to explore the Chishang rice paddies. I know what you're thinking, those lazy Americans, can't they do anything on their own? And the joke is on you, because today our 4 wheels come in the form of 2 traditional bicycles that our 4 legs are going to pedal. 2 people, 4 legs, giant rice paddy fields. It's gonna be an amazing day.
But before we go see that, we just want to show you the train station here, which is amazing.
If you come to explore this area by bike, this is where you're most likely to enter Chishang, and it is beautiful.
Bicycling is so popular here, they even have a little fix-it station with some air. Anything the bicyclist might need.
Ooh, our first ice cream shop already. Tempting.
Now, today isn't just about bicycling at rice fields. Yes! There's actually a couple special and very famous roads, and also a special tree. We'll see more about those in a few minutes.
Who needs a drone when you have a view like this from an awesome platform?
But we have a drone, just in case.
But we don't need it yet because this platform is amazing. This is an old laundry center, which is kind of funny because we actually just did laundry in our room this morning. Maybe we should have just brought it along with us, I don't know. It kind of looks like a spa in here, like with those benches that you lie down on, except that I think you would sit on the squares and then beat the laundry on the angled part that's in front of the square. Make our way down the rice paddies in a zigzag fashion. So we're starting sort of on a north end on a road that runs parallel to a very famous road that we're doing next. This first one ends in a giant water wheel. So I guess we'll see you at the end of the road. Bill and I are also having a very active discussion about whether we're gonna get rained on today. I'm thinking there's a little bit of rain coming.
There's been this rain cloud. It's probably just a cloud, but it's a cloud
It's
anyway.
raining, you can see the rain.
It's been looming all day. Heather keeps fearing that it's getting closer. We actually need to ride toward that cloud, which I think will be fine.
You can see like literally right here, you can see the rain. We are gonna get rained on.
It's not gonna happen.
Tell me that doesn't look like rain.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the...
I really thought the next stop was gonna be the large water wheel. But in fact, it seems like there's a lookout over all of the rice paddies. So I guess stay tuned for the water wheel.
To the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song. In the old neighborhood, as the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it stood.
One thing I don't think we've talked about is some of the trees around here that are flowering. There aren't any sakura, but there's plenty of what look like lilacs and jasmine. The smells in the air are just fantastic and very, very, very sweet. You just be going along and all of a sudden you just get this lovely waft of sweet smelling flowers. It's great.
Don't cry as the days move along. You can remember their song. I remember the days. Looking back, I can't see clearly how we had it made.
Well, we made it
get to our water wheel. Right there. As advertised, it is a huge water wheel. And we got to talking to some folks from Kaohsiung, and it was kind of a meeting point. It was a lot of fun. But it really is a giant water wheel. It is so, so beautiful here. And also a lot busier than yesterday. I just want to point out that that's the rain. That's not happening. Well, we are about to enter Brown Avenue? Brown Road? Mr. Brown?
Brown Boulevard or Mr. Brown Road.
Probably the most famous section of all of these rice paddies where you can bike. We're about to enter Brown Boulevard, and at the beginning or the end of Brown Boulevard is a very famous tree, this tree. As the story goes, EVA Airlines filmed a commercial in this very picturesque part of Taiwan, and they used an incredibly famous Japanese-Taiwanese actor, well loved by many. And the combination of the two was just too much for the people. And so everybody had to come and see the famous tree, this one right here, where it was filmed and where this very famous Japanese-Taiwanese actor was. And everybody now takes their photo or video with this tree. Even though it's not part of our culture, it's still fun to participate in things like this when we travel. So here we are at probably Taiwan's most famous tree, right here, this guy. Well, we are at the other end of Brown Boulevard. I think that this is where most people start and then most people end down by the tree. Why is it called Brown Boulevard? Well, I think they really like commercials here in Taiwan because there was an amazing brown coffee commercial, I guess, that also had to do with this region. And now there's a brown cafe and there's a little statue. And I think it's kind of fun because I've actually been drinking brown coffee all week, and they have this amazing pour-over thing that works fantastically. So I'm a fan of Brown Boulevard and the cafe and the whole thing, and along with like hundreds of my Taiwanese new best friends. There's so many people here.
Well, we've ridden Brown Boulevard from end to end, and I think it's about time for a snack. We hear there's some really unique ice cream nearby.
Bill cannot pass up unique ice cream. The shop owner is so nice and let us film so many things, which was amazing. I hope these are tasty. It's a heart. All right, this is strawberry flavored. It was hard to choose because there were so many good sounding flavors. How is it already cold? They just fried it. Oh my gosh. That is the sound of my head exploding. This ice cream is amazing. It's so good. Like the ice cream itself is super creamy and delicious. And then the dough on the outside is super fried and like not too much of it, just the right amount. This might be the best ice cream dessert I've ever had anywhere in my life. It's that good and that unique. And I think we're gonna need to go back and order more flavors. It's that good. So if you come here, make sure that you come to Frozen Hearts and get some of these strange ice cream sandwich things that will blow your mind. They're so good.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
谢谢. Bye-bye. 谢谢.
Just one sec. Wait, there's another one. This is not going well for me. I think there's one more, maybe two.
Taiwan holiday.
All right, so
This is the start of Paradise Road. There is a park right at the start of it that everybody stops at, and this nice arch with a swing where you can take some cool photos. It doesn't go anywhere. And the road kind of curves, and there's this nice downhill at the start, so everybody gets going and they all go, wee! It is pretty amazing. This is the start of the final of our zigzag route that we're taking today when we're cycling some of the most famous roads in Chishang. This last one has a really interesting history that accompanies it. This road runs roughly east-west, and there are many stories that go with the road that have been handed down through local people over the years. And the one that our hotel host told us is that people used to do their funeral processions along this road, hopefully I get this right, from east to west. So they would walk with their departed loved ones and make their way west, saying their goodbyes and their well wishes. And I kind of like that we've saved this one for last. It feels a little bit symbolic in that way. And it also looks the neatest with its curves. And I'm ready to go biking again now that we had our ice cream snack. Making me work for this pass. Well, unless it rains in the next half hour, I think Bill wins that one.
Yes!
If you are trying to decide whether to cycle in Guanshan or Chishang, here's our recommendation. Go to Guanshan if you want to be by yourself or almost by yourself and just have the bicycle lane that's dedicated only to bicycles with no other vehicles. If you're interested in the main sites like the famous tree and Brown Boulevard, and you don't mind sharing the street with many other people and even some cars sometimes, then you should come to Chishang. No matter where you go, don't miss the bento boxes because that's an amazing part of the experience. This has been a lot of fun biking around here. As usual, at Tales for Our Pocket, we are running a little bit late for returning our bikes. So we need to hightail it back. Hey Bill, would you like to tell the viewers what's going on right now?
We're starting to get rained on.
We're getting sprinkled on it. We just turned our bikes in. It's not like the total end. I don't know, you guys tell us who's right. Did it rain today? Or did it not rain? It's raining harder and harder even as we film this. I don't know, I think it rained.
Finally, there are night markets of all kinds while you're in Taiwan. Here's a taste, pun intended, of the different night markets that we visited while we were here.
Oh, yes.
I think this might be one of those cases where I don't want to know what went into it. It's just really good.
Oh. Oh. Oh my gosh. Best day ever.
There's always room for more food.
Actually, the food we had was so amazing. We put together a dedicated video just to the foods of Taiwan. If you're planning a visit to Taiwan, you're probably wondering how long to stay and where. So many people just visit Taipei and Taroko Gorge, and they're missing out on a whole lot that Taiwan has to offer. Here are some itinerary options just to get you started based on your length of stay and some of your interests. Use them as a starting point and go from there.
That's
all. That's all either of us have.
That's it.
That's
That's all you
that's
get.
the end of the story.
That's it. Goodbye.